Hello guys, now I'm back to my absolute all-time favorite garden center, local garden center. But this time I am gonna buy a miniature one. They're all fragrant. They are relatively cheap in comparison to the larger ones. There's so many. Look at the dark one. Really stands out from a distance, especially. But this little pinkish one I recognized from somewhere where I couldn't get it since it was sold out. It's yeah, I think it's got the Schilleriana with the model leaf set as one of its parents, probably way back in its heritage. And this one looks like a primer hybrid. Looks like some kind of Speciosa or Tetraspis cross. And here's a yellow one. I have a real soft spot for yellow ones. Looks like the one I had to throw away not long ago due to mealies. Maybe I'll wait with that one. And this one looks common, very common. This one with the stripes. Stripes. Another one. I need to check the foliage. Which one carries the best foliage? I can't really go up the flowers. But that one, yeah. I'm gonna go for this one, yeah. Something different from the one I throw away, yeah. Yes, finally decided. Took a while. People were starting to wonder what I was doing there. But it's not really orchid time at that garden center. They've been really pushed aside and sold out. You can see one of my favorite ones, the Barcelona. It's got the trade name Barcelona. But they can really differ. Look at this one's pattern in comparison to that one's and the size of the blooms. It's incredible, so you really need to pick well. This is where the orchids normally sit, so they're all occupied with something else. Here you guys saw me at the garden center. But it's not only the garden center I went to. See if there's better lights. I usually do not fancy filming this time of the day. But that's the way it goes today. As you probably noticed, I've been all hooked up on fragrances lately. Never really what's my thing, fragrances. I mean, of course, it's fragrant, but what can I do about it? That was my disposition, in a way, for many years. But recently, I'm starting to value fragrances, lovely fragrances on orchids more and more. So I know I'm always repeating myself far too many times in every growing area video and stuff, but you guys need to stop me. But that is alright. Yeah, I know that this orchid has been going through a lot. I saw that already at the grocery store, yeah? As this video is going to be about grocery store bought and garden center bought Phalaenopsis. The kind which are a lot more available for common people, such as I and you guys probably. So, I know, I saw this. I don't care. As I was going after the best and strongest plant. Looking at the color here. Do we see any blackening? Anything yellow? Anything ugly? Yes. Do we see poor substrate? Which in my word means a lot of peat stuff, but no, pure, beautiful, lovely, medium to small grade bark. I can see here. Yeah, yet another bud. But they can always rebloom, but they sometimes can't recover from ugliness going on down there, or to the stem, especially not to the stem. And I see no insects, so I've been investigating these guys thoroughly on this one, especially this one, and the other ones available at Lidl. Super Mama, yeah. These were probably remaining orchids from Mother's Day, which occurred last weekend. So, can just get that one off. Yeah. So, lovely plant, foliage-wise, and as I said before, a little bit, yeah, it's even a little bit pyloric, you can see here. Yeah, it is. That was something wrong, some kind of discoloration here to the petals, but it's pyloric petals we see. So, yet another bonus point to this orchid. And bonus point number 3 is that it's fragrant. And yeah, bonus point number 4 is that it's still got several buds yet to be opened. So, which indicates that this one hasn't been out for very long. Also an indication of it is that you can still witness a couple of root tips, which oftentimes happens with Phalaenopsis when they're getting into growing stage, and which oftentimes equals blooming. Good price as well at Lidl, this German chain of grocery stores we got here in Sweden. We do not have Aldi, but we have Lidl, which I'm very, very happy and glad for. I love that store. Yeah, which offers a lot of foreign groceries and stuff. Really, really nice assortment. And good prices. Yeah, overall good prices in that store. So, let me take a photo of it, as my dad discovered a function on his cell phone, which I didn't discover. Yeah, and I can take a photo of something and Google will search it for you. So I'm going to take a picture of it and I'm going to show you guys what Google suggests. So, yeah, you're right. I choose this one, as I thought it looked as close to a species it ever could get. Look, I think this one whispers a little bit about the Equestris, or Speciosa. I have across those two guys already. A little bit. Seemed so familiar to me. And this one, yes, you guessed it, fragrance is beautiful. Look at it. Such a gorgeous plant. Of course, they will grow larger. They won't stay this size. And it only says Phalaenopsis mix. I remember when these guys were €6. Now they are 10. After COVID, everything changed. But this is gorgeous. But I did try this Google photo recognition stuff. And I think it worked, yeah? Could be the Phalaenopsis multi-orange fragrance. Yeah, I bought this due to the fact that it had the best foliage of the ones offered, and a very good root system, from what I can tell, through the frosted container. And yet a couple of buds to open, whispers about, you know, and long spikes. So, this one's got it all. So I just had to have it. I've been looking at these tiny ones several times now. I just thought, all right, let's make up for all of the missed opportunities. Just grab myself 3 of them. But I'm not very sad of what I accomplished today. Even though my wallet is a bit thinner. Doesn't matter. My mindset feels a lot better. Yeah. Great. And here comes the photo of what I found. And yes. This lovely one as well. I had a yellow miniature one before, and I had to throw it away. Yes, I'm quite sad about it, since I like its flowers a lot, and it was quite bloom-willing. But it was also a source for spreading mealybugs. They never ceased to be on that orchid. It didn't matter what I did. I sprayed it with several different types of pesticide, semi-systemics, oil-based ones, and the bleach treatment. Nothing really took the mealies. So it was a source of spreading mealies to everything else. So I just simply couldn't keep it anymore. I'm sorry, really sorry about it. So I needed to have another one. But it doesn't have a similar pattern. But nonetheless, a beautiful one. So I figured I'd try something different, but similar. So this one actually did have some sort of a trade name, Phalaenopsis lima, colibri, when I looked it up. But it surely is a colibri orchid, colibri Phalaenopsis, when I search the picture. So maybe Lima colibri is the strain name. But anyways, still a couple of buds to come. A relatively alright plant, not the best I've seen, but certainly was the best of the ones available. Yeah, of course I grabbed that one. Yeah, it's quite obvious. No mealies. Everything is looking great. But I will still spray it with pesticide before I put it amongst my other orchids. Yes, lovely miniature one. So here comes the pictures. So here we have, as I recognize it, Phalaenopsis multiflora odorion. Yes. It's a pinkish beige-ish orchid with a little bit mottled leaf set. So it's probably a Phalaenopsis schilleriana hybrid of some sort. Usually gives the pattern along with the pink flowers. Yes. But I saw this at a garden center. 1.5 hours ride away from Gothenburg. We went there in April, beginning of April, to try to get some new members to Orchid Society, like usual, throwing a little tiny lottery. And the owner of the nursery had orchid weeks, so they were selling a number of more orchids than they usually were. And they gave us, I think, about 10 to 20 orchids a day to add on to the lottery, so for people to win. But what they did have in stock at the time was this beautiful, fragrant Phalaenopsis. And I was planning on getting one for myself, but instead I promoted it to everybody else who was passing by our table, so they were soon finished. So my next occupation might be as a salesman at a garden center. So I sold fertilizers and orchids that day. I don't know why I did it. I was just, I just did it. And so they were all sold out when I was going to get one. So I found this one for 1/4 of the price. But as a tinier size plant, a little bit tinier, but still in flower. With this lovely scent as well. Phalaenopsis multiflora odor. Odor sounds not so pleasant to me, but odor sounds like something smelling awful, but it's not. In every case, it's not a bad word, which points you towards another direction. So I'm happy. I'm so happy I found her. Yeah, especially this one. Multiflora odor. Look what I found on Google. I had to check all of the links to eventually find what she was looking. Best resemblance. And along with that, I found probably the proper trade name for her. Yeah. as well. Here comes the pictures. I won a beautiful little Phalaenopsis as well. At the lottery. Didn't cost me much. But what puzzles me a bit is what it is really. What his flowers will look like. Phalaenopsis Sogo Gotris. If I Google it, I found red flowers, yellow spot flowers, and even something else I don't remember. Right, trying to Google it. Does this make you any wiser? Which one could it be? The seller, or the one who donated it to the lottery, she didn't know either, since she couldn't get it into bloom, but I'm not sure why she didn't know what it was supposed to look like. Some kind of misunderstanding it must have been, but anyways, beautiful flowers right up to the left corner. That one looks a little bit dull, I think. That one looks very common. That one as well. So which one is it? They all got the same name. Phalaenopsis Sogo Gotris. So, yeah, why? What if it's this one? What to believe? I guess we need to wait and wait and wait and see. This is crazy, guys. That one looks great. Must be a YouTube video somebody did. What channel this one belongs to? Let's see now. Phalaenopsis Mania. Yeah, it is. This channel. I'm not a subscriber. Maybe I should subscribe. That's what we do, I mean. But, well, might be this one. Doesn't say Gotris Eric. So, not sure, but we shall see in the future. It will bloom. Yeah, it will. But she gave this away. She didn't think it would bloom for her. But I didn't ask for how long she's been having this orchid. But anyways, I take a word for it. And maybe when it changed conditions, it will bloom. Or maybe not. But looks like a very healthy plant. Actually, I'm going to repot this Phalaenopsis together with you guys today. This Phalaenopsis Bronze Buddha. Some call it Bodgeri, but I found out most recently that the Bodgeri is the trade name for the registered Bronze Buddha. So it's the very same orchid. So I got a little bit confused when somebody told me that. No, it's not the Bronze Buddha, it's the Bodgeri. But I can't find the Bodgeri. Registered somewhere. Anyways, so now let it soak for a couple of more minutes. I'm going to take a look at a couple of other Phalaenopsis in my collection. So, if you watched one of my previous videos, you saw me being all excited about this orchid. This one has actually got a trade name, and that would be Ping Pong. I don't know why they came up with such a ridiculous name for it, but it's its name, yeah? And here, it's starting to go over. It's the Phalaenopsis multi-honeybee, a fragrant, relatively commonly occurring Phalaenopsis hybrid. You can get it at the garden centers. Yeah, it creates multiple flowers, as you can see. Very, very bloom-willing. It's a good spike. I think this is what we're after when we think about a Phalaenopsis, good Phalaenopsis spike. A pendant, beautiful, dense spike. And this is also another one you can find at the garden centers. It's Phalaenopsis Barcelona. It never ends its blooming. It's been blooming for absolutely ages by extending a spike with a couple of flowers each time. It actually stopped there and started to branch out here afterwards. But this one is still extending. And the plant itself is so huge by now. I haven't been giving it an excessive amount of water, but it's doing it anyways, growing very fiercely. And well, it's a very nice plant. I got two of them in case one of them would die, but I realized that this one wouldn't. This one won't die. So I sold the other one at the Orchid Society meeting yesterday. Here's another one. And a couple of overbloomed ones. But here, we have a beautiful one. Phalaenopsis pinif. Another one with a trade name. Yes. Thought it would be a very poor spike, but I gave it a little bit of nutrients. And a couple of more buds starting to pop up. So, this one is also growing very large leaves. Considering the little amount of water I've been giving this orchid, since I've been very concerned about its being prone to catching black rot or stem rot, which oftentimes occurs to certain types of hybrids. All species for that matter, but I've seen it on this one before, stem rot, to the pinif, and to the Las Vegas as well. And I've heard other people having trouble with exactly the same varieties. Regarding stem rot. No more flowers here. And this beautiful orange one. A couple of overbloomed ones up there. So today I'm going to focus on the supermarket store-bought ones, not the novelty Phalaenopsis, which you can see here, and species. I'm going to make a video on these guys as well. Let's now jump right over to the kitchen area and start repotting the orchid. I'm also going to tell you why I'm going to repot it. What's the purposes of it all. This one has been a very reliable bloomer. It's been blooming for, I'm not sure for how long really, but I will look it up. I think it is 4 or 5 months, it must be. Extending, putting out new, branching, and stuff. But now I can see that it caught mealybugs. It had before, and I got rid of it. And now the back. Only 2 flowers left, so I think we can skip these flowers. This beautiful hybrid is so fragrant. And it bloomed a little bit too much. And it received a little bit too much light. So this one got exhausted and tired. So it was all of a sudden very sensitive again. And an easy target for the mealbugs again. As the plant is weakened, you can see. It's been actually been sprayed with pesticide. Some sort of light systemic pesticides. 2 different kinds, lately. But it doesn't help. Some of the pest has been resistant to the pesticide I'm using, unfortunately. So, but with all of the flowers gone, now dropped, she's slowly starting to recover. Looking green and healthy again. a little bit more stiff and substance to the leaves. It was really flimsy 2 weeks ago. So she's been in the shade the last 2 weeks. But we do need to get rid of the mealies. It's been sitting in this medium ever since I got it. There's nothing wrong with the roots, but we need to get rid of the mealies once and for all. So let us start by disinfecting the tool with some rubbing alcohol. Yes. My apartment is nowadays relatively pest-free. What I still do have in my apartment, I brought in with me through that door to the hallway from the garden centers. It's crawling with mealybugs in the garden centers. As I said before, they're not allowed or supposed to use systemic pesticides. So this is what we customers get from them as a little bonus present. But as we are so very intoxicated by the beautiful flowers, I guess we all think it's not going to happen to me. And that's my thought every time I want to give myself a little present. Well, I feel so sorry for myself. Yeah. Anyways, let us see what we can find. See if we can get this root out from there in one piece. Yeah. Oh yeah, we could. Now you can see medium grade bark, kind of sort of flat bark, nothing more than bark, and of course get rid of the stakes, and of course the famous little plug of cocoa or peat. Yeah, peat probably. Feels like a sponge. So, but we don't need that one. Looks like a fairly nice root system. I would have preferred it to be in growing stage a little bit more than it is, but it'll be alright. After all, it's a Phalaenopsis. So here you can see something lurking all the way down there underneath the soil. So it's not easy to get rid of it by only spraying, is it? In between the leaf joints, everywhere basically. So let us soak this one for a while to get rid of as much old bark as we can. So now the roots are clean. Now I'm going to start cutting where I can see bad roots. There aren't so many. Most of them are to the top. They've been drying out a little bit too much to the surface. So it's a very good plant in a way. I've heard somebody say that where the black markings are, you should cut the root right above it. But I don't know really. Let's see what happens if we don't. Probably nothing. gonna reuse the same pot. Use some ready mix orchid bark. A little bit of peat in it. So it will retain the moisture a bit more. But there's a lot of branches and stuff in it as well, so I don't know why sometimes that happens as well. Let's now see. Down like this. And then I start twisting and turning the whole pot in circles like this in order to get the roots down, all of the roots, before I even started to fill up the pot with a medium. Now it's sitting there, just like before. Looks like nothing ever happened. And now it's time to fill in a little bit of medium. It's not an easy task, but we're going to get there. So no special additives this time around. No perlite, nothing of the sorts. This is prone to get mealybugs, this particular one. I saw it on the one I had prior to this one as well. A lot of mealies, which eventually took that one from me. So I wouldn't want to confuse the perlite with mealies or the other way around. You see what I mean? Thinking it's perlite when it's actually mealybugs lurking. I'm not aware of, so to the root system. So I go. Lift her up a little bit so she won't be far too low down into the pot. It's not a good solution either. So looks like I'm processing it all together one more time, but I'm not. Lifting test. So. And now I'm not going to water it for at least one more week to let the roots have a chance on establishing into its new medium. And perhaps a little stake to the side she's leaning towards the most. That's how I would have done it, and that's how I'm doing it. Just a little stake. I'm not going to cut off. Yeah, I am. You can see all of the mealies here. They are almost impossible to get rid of, so I'm just going to cut it here. And maybe this node will branch out without the mealies up there. Do we see anything else I wanted? Yeah, up here. Yeah, might as well just cut it off. Are almost impossible to get rid of. Why they're there, the mealies. So, on this old spike, see no reason to keep it. You can just cut it off. Doesn't matter. So, now we are fairly mealybug free. And I'm going to seal the wound down there with a little bit of cinnamon. I'll see too that it doesn't hit the roots too much. We dry it out. Cinnamon will dry stuff out, and I've heard disinfect. Turmeric will as well. So many things which leads to the same results. Yeah. So I'm going to wash this orchid off a little bit, and we're good to go. I'm going to put the tag back, or write a tag. I don't have a tag. And I got a question about how to avoid stem rot. Yeah. For my novelty hybrids, I usually use a mixture of moss, bark, and perlite. It keeps the moisture a little bit longer. But that doesn't mean that I don't let it dry out very much in between the waterings. Yeah, that's what I do to avoid stem rot. If I don't, or if I keep it in a little bit too much moisture, a little bit too much spag, a little bit too wet for a little bit too long, it may develop spores, black rot spores, and bacterial infections. Yes. And the same thing goes for placing Phalaenopsis. It doesn't matter if it's store-bought ones or novelty hybrids or species, for that matter. A little bit too close to the humidifier. Yes. Cool air, ultrasonic humidifier. Not a great idea. Especially if they're already infected or infested by perhaps mealies, as they usually are. Small little wounds and humid conditions, cool air, causing stem rot. Or something else, placing a wet orchid, possibly sprayed orchid already with some pesticide, or newly watered, fairly damp, next to the ceiling fan. May cause stem rot as well, due to drought. So there are many possibilities on what actually causes stem rot. But it's difficult to find the answer, except for speaking from your own experiences. That's what made a couple of my old dead Phalaenopsis catch stem rot. The things I was mentioning here. So I just wanted to share with you guys, since I got a question. So my advice is not to keep it far too damp. Let it dry out. Not to place it nearby a humidifier with cool air, cool mist. Not to place them too nearby the ceiling fan. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Give it a like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And we should talk soon. Bye bye guys. Good luck with your Phalaenopsis.